cucumber.
Right?
Ooh. Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. I enjoyed that. That was fun. Ah, dear.
Hello.
How is everybody? Hey, hello. You all right? And Mr. Josh is back with us today because he's on spring break.
Hello, everybody. I am. And my term ended, so I will be back regular from now on because I get out of class at noon. So.
I thought spring
I'm
break was
back.
when you went to Mississippi, got drunk, gave lots of beads to women, and they flashed their boobs at you.
Yeah, not when you're 36 and married.
He's like, no.
Right,
So,
1990.
glad to have you. Everybody passed all their tests. Josh passed all his tests and did well, didn't you?
I did.
I
A
got
lot
me
better than I thought I was.
So well done. And of course, Mr. Wayne is here with us. And as you probably know or don't know, we had a really good weekend. We went and did an paranormal full investigation with Spookanori Events. I drove down, picked up a motorbike engine for my Triumph.
Oh, you got that. Awesome.
Yeah, I did. £100. I'm still in the back of the car. I got taken out of the car tomorrow. And I'm going to start stripping the bike down tomorrow. So I did that. And then we went up to Boston. And then we did an investigation, myself and Rachel, with Mr. Wayne and Mrs. Wayne and all the other Waynettas. So it was really good fun. You and your missus have got to come over on holiday and join us.
Yeah, we do.
So
they turned up to Boston as high as a kite because of all the petrol fumes in the car.
It was horrible. I kept fucking putting the window down, and like you could smell oil and petrol, and I was like, oh, and and I was saying to Rachel, "It's bloody good job you don't smoke, isn't it?" Turned up with, well, I've got no hair anyway, but you know,
right?
So that'd be interesting. So, before we get onto it, how the very devil is everybody?
Yeah,
good. Yeah,
is that it? Good.
Yeah. Good. I'm doing good.
How's your show doing?
My show?
Yeah.
I have been on pause since. This is my first time back since doing anything since college.
Of course, yeah, because you took time off, didn't you? Yeah, I've completely forgot about that. Well, you've got to come across the pond, mate. You've really got to come across the pond because, like I say, we've been doing well, and it was a really interesting night. And we shall talk about that in a minute. We have got some interesting stuff to talk about tonight. We really have.
Right.
And, interesting. And I mean, interesting. And you elites out there, watch out. We're onto your game.
I even got a story about them tonight.
Yes. I looked all that. I looked at all that, watched the videos, and I was like, "What the actual fuck?" So, yeah. But first, let's get ready to rub up. No, let's get the Saturday night's investigation over and done with. So we should turn it over to Mr. Wayne here.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah. Anyway, Saturday night, some of you will know that my events team, Spookanori Events, we were asked to go and investigate a place that had never been investigated before in its 161-year history. And that was at Sessions House in Boston, which is right next to the Cathedral Church building in the marketplace in the centre of Boston in Lincolnshire. And wow, what a night for a place that had never been investigated before. We turned up fairly apprehensive, not sure what to expect. All we had heard was the stories of things that had happened from people that had been there because they worked there or they had something to do with the building. So, of course, we got in there. We split up into 3 separate teams and got everybody all sorted into where they were going. And from the moment it started to the moment it finished, it did not stop. We were having communication coming through on EVPs, all the different methods of equipment that we had. We had various things coming through. Ouija board was very active. We had issues with equipment like a death bell and a music box that you could hear on the top floor, right away down in the cellars. And in honesty, it's an amazing location, and we're lucky that we've got exclusive rights. So if anybody is interested in coming on to the next one, which we will be currently sorting out booking for, then people are more than welcome to come along and join us. For me, the whole building was amazing. Go down in the cellars, into the cells underneath the courtroom, and you could feel the atmosphere. It was very. I was quite good all night, actually. It was very negative down there. There was something there that just wasn't happy.
Yeah, one of those cells in particular was I didn't like that. Rachel's a skeptic, and she walked in that cell and went, "No, don't like this."
Yeah. Well, even midlife crisis, the guy that managed to get us the place, he said that the stairs he doesn't like, and he wouldn't go up and down the stairs.
Didn't do anything on the stairs,
but I think he managed to pluck up the courage a couple of times, eventually to do it. But that was because he was with other people. Yeah. But in the courtroom, we had unexplained noises. And I personally heard something, and so I went to investigate it. And no matter where I went in that courtroom, I could not find anything to replicate the sound we heard. And I was going around and I was knocking on things. I was opening and closing doors, and they were all going, "No, that's not the sound we heard. That's not the sound we heard." I said, "Well, if that's not the sound you heard, what was it?" No one could explain it. And there was nobody in that area. Because it was a gallery. So all the courtroom was at one end where the rest of the team were. And I had gone down to where the sound had come from, which is where all the public gallery is. And there was nothing there that could have made that noise. So put it down to paranormal, or whether it was the wood contracting because it had been quite hot in there. And it was starting to cool down because we opened the windows and turned the radiators off.
It was boiling.
It was absolutely roasting in there. And for me, I think from my own personal perspective, myself going up into one of the towers and going into a room where there was a coffin on the floor, I actually went and laid inside the coffin. Now, this coffin had been brought for a deceased person. The family viewed the coffin and didn't like it, so they demanded that the body was taken out and put in a new one. And then the people that run the courthouse had decided they were going to buy this coffin to use as a Halloween prop. And so, me being me, I opened up the coffin, I unscrewed it all, opened it up, and I got inside and shut the lid behind me. And I then did a live TikTok feed from inside the coffin. And it was awesome. But the weirdest part of it was if somebody could have been in a coffin alive and actually experienced what it was like to go into a crematorium, and then come back out at a certain point. That was the only way you could describe it. And it was bizarre because the longer I was in there, the hotter it got. And even though I kept lifting up the coffin lid to get fresh air in, it still kept getting hotter and hotter in there. And it got to the point after about 20 minutes that I could not stand being in there anymore. So I said, well, I'm coming out. And as I lifted up the coffin, Chloe grabbed the lid and pulled it up to open it fully so I could get out. And she said it was like opening a sauna door. She said the heat coming out of that coffin was unbelievable. And I went, tell me about it. I've been laying in here for 20 minutes.
To be fair, she's brave. I wouldn't like to lift that coffin lid up with your fart stuck in there. I'll tell you that now. Because, like,
I will let you know that what happened in our car that time in Scarborough was a one-off incident. I don't normally do things like that.
Is it? Because we've been on air when you farted and Ellen has run from there gagging.
I say normally. I say normally.
Yeah, and the fan story.
What happened? He farted once and Rachel was in the back of the car, sitting behind him.
I remember you told me this.
I
should throw up.
Yeah, but you see, the problem is that's what happens when I eat high-protein foods.
Beans, eggs, McDonald's.
Chicken.
Ball
burgers. And that night, I was all right. I was a good boy because I'd only had a sirloin steak earlier on that night. So I was actually quite good, and I was wind-free for most of the night. So that made a change for once. But it was really weird because the only way I could describe it was, would that be what somebody felt going into that oven and the crematorium? Because you just kept getting hotter and hotter. And I'm like, how can it be? It's quite cool up here, so why is it feeling so hot?
I wouldn't like to be in a coffin going to a crematorium. I can honestly say, just putting it out there, no.
It was bizarre. And then in the opposite tower, we noticed a cogwheel 15 foot up a wall.
Oh, that was it was a fitting for a gas lamp. You know, when they had the gas lamps in the walls?
Yeah.
It was a fitting for a gas lamp. I meant to tell you.
That high up?
Apparently, yeah. So, yeah, that was a fitting for a gas lamp.
Strange. It looked like a cogwheel, didn't it?
It did. I wonder what the hell it was, but because I thought it was either the end of a beam or something bizarre, but it turns out it was the remains of the where the gas lamp would have been fitted.
Yeah. Because I tried looking at the dimensions of it, and I'm like, well, it's on the wall that's facing the other tower. So why would you put something like a clock on an inward-facing wall?
Yeah, no, it was for a gas lamp, gas light.
Yeah. I thought it was for a clock, and that the clock was facing the wrong way. So I'm like, okay.
No, definitely not. No. I can say I wonder what the hell it was, but it wasn't. It was just it was a fitting for a Victorian gas lamp.
Yeah.
Which, considering we were talking about your arse, that's quite spot on. And I'm sure. I mean, all of you out there will know when you've done investigations, you've probably gone out there and the most things you've caught is a cold, because every investigation where I've ever done, apart from that place, has been bloody freezing. I think I did one that was room temperature, but that place is boiling, absolutely boiling.
I think the only other place I could say was sort of like that is Kelvin Hatch nuclear bunker.
Apart from when you go that bottom tunnel.
Yeah, but that's connected to the bungalow, isn't it? And it's straight out to the open once you get to the other end and through the doors.
Yeah.
But everywhere else in there seems to be quite hot, doesn't it? Which is going to be another good one on the 17th of May. We're down there again for that. So
if we can make it to that one, we will come down and see you guys, because I
like
you
gotta come over. That is the 17th of May.
17th of May. All right, yeah.
Yeah, and so if anybody's interested, it's the 17th of May. If you go over to Spook and Ori events on Facebook, it's £45 a ticket with drinks and refreshments and whatnot. And obviously myself and my full team from Truth Beyond Paranormal will be there as well.
And hopefully myself.
And hopefully Mark.
Yes, that'd be nice, because I like it there anyway. And it was nice to find out I'm part of the team, so that was cool. So that was good. Right. We will talk about the rest of the stuff that went on in there because I had a fucking interesting and the most bizarre story I've ever had come to light when I've been doing calling out and having the responses. I've never had a story like that happen ever in all of the investigations I've ever done in my life. So, yeah, we'll talk about that in a bit. Right. Mr. Joshua Tree.
Joshua Tree. What's up?
You too. Would you like to start talking about one of the things you would like to start talking about?
Sure. Should I talk about the TikTok craze right now?
Yeah, go on.
All right. If I'm sure if you already haven't, you're on TikTok. Your newsfeed has been filled with the 1% eating mermaids. That is the new craze right now. Everybody's talking about in the conspiracy world. Is it possible? Who knows? I mean, they do a lot of other evil shit.
He actually means eating real live mermaids. He doesn't mean
mermaids. Yeah. No.
I mean that.
No, I've not seen anything whatsoever of that sort of thing. I mean, I've seen the old Facebook videos and the old TikTok where people have gone, "Oh, look, we can see a mermaid," and they've shown you like this generated picture of mermaids sitting on a rock on the beach, and then the one following the boat, the fishing trawler, and there's one in the water following the boat as it's trying to get away, and that's it.
No,
I ain't seen anything else.
Well, we were talking about and Josh said about it. And I was
well, you guys, it's like I said too. It's been the new craze for the past 2 days, and you guys been on that investigation too. Yesterday and today.
It's bizarre.
The other one that was really popular was the guys on the boat hearing the sirens. It's a pretty popular one. That one kind of is creepy.
The one I think you were on about is it the guy who infiltrated the party and got the invite to the party and was sat there.
Yes. Yes. And then there's another one going around about the fishermen who are obtaining them too.
Well, the thing is, they're part of the hominid species, so technically they're kind of eating
themselves.
Yeah, they're cannibalism, sort of.
Well, I mean, there was the whole eating mummy craze too, in like 100 years ago. It was disgusting, but it was done.
Well, the thing that Josh is on about, there are some videos out there of people who are saying that they have been to elite parties, and they're called mermaid parties. And normally things like that are very, very dodgy, and you don't know what elite parties or what mermaid parties are. But this is actually people who've got tanks with allegedly with real live mermaids in, and these mermaids are being killed and cooked and eaten by the so-called social elites, our so-called betters. How can that be better? If this is a real thing, I wouldn't fucking dream of doing that to some poor thing like that.
I mean,
wrong. That'd be like eating a unicorn's bollock or something, you know?
Right. I mean, it sounds absurd, but then you honestly, if you look into spirit cooking and the elite, I don't know. Have either of you went down that rabbit hole?
I had a look at a lot of the stuff last night. Some of it's credible, a lot of it's bollocks, but there's a couple of things that I watched, and I was like, there was some credible stuff on there, I think, and there was too much detail to have been a made up bullshit, but some of it I thought was credible.
Yeah.
Wayne, you look like you're going to say something.
No, I was just burping.
Oh fuck. I mean, you guys out there, which yes, we'll have to have a look at that Black Cauldron mystery, Irene. What do you guys out there?
Irene's jumped on Irene.
Hey?
Oh, I told Irene I already joined.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah.
I've seen the invite.
I haven't had one come up. I don't think I've not seen it. Anyway.
The problem is, obviously, as Josh said, it's been sort of the craze for the last 2 days, and obviously the last 2 days I haven't been here.
Same.
And it's been obviously the whole weekend gets used up just from one investigation. The whole weekend gets used up. Because like for you, Mark, I mean, you obviously you left from the investigation and went straight home, and I think it was 5:30 in the morning. You sent me the message to say we're back safe and sound.
We literally just pulled up when I sent that.
Yeah, for us, we went back to the hotel. We didn't go to bed till about 4-ish. We had to get up again at 8. We went to breakfast for 9 and discovered that breakfast was pretty naff. So we said, right, educated decision. If we're not going to get a fried breakfast here, we'll go back into the town centre. And we found a Wetherspoons, and wonderful breakfast. 14 quid for a full English breakfast with unlimited coffee, a breakfast wrap with unlimited coffee. And we're like, yeah, thank you very much. That's us sorted. And we got home about 2:30 in the afternoon, but it was worth it. So really, we shouldn't have been too tired. But we come home, and my lovely two little uns, Freddie and Tamsin, decided to trash the place. So we then had to spend the rest of the day cleaning the house up, getting rid of all the mess that they'd created and sorting stuff out. And then today has been pretty much the same thing again. Tamsin and Freddie have both developed tonsillitis, and we've been clearing one of the rooms out ready to fit our new double bed in for tomorrow. So I haven't really had much time to do anything since I've been back. So of course I'm struggling with that typical paranormal hangover. And it's one of those moments, isn't it, where you know you've got stuff to do, but you're like, I haven't got the energy to do it.
I wanted to get that motorbike engine out of my car. I wanted to start stripping the bike down, ready for changing the engines. I've done fuck all. I've done bug rolls, knackered. Yeah. But I did look at those mermaid videos. So what's your take on it?
45 minutes, Mark.
Huh?
I said that should take you 45 minutes.
Have you stripped the fairing off a bike before?
I have.
You have?
Well,
then fuck you with your 2 hands.
That is true. I forget that.
We'll see how long it takes you to do it with one hand.
I think when I did it before, because I stripped it all down and took all the cooling system off and cleaned it and put new bits and bobs on. And I think when I did that before, it took me half a day. But this is an engine thing, and I need to get a trolley jack underneath the engine, and I've got to drain the oil, change the filters, put new plugs in, and I've got to take the fuel injection system off my old engine and put it on the new one and stuff like that. So I'm going to set aside a weekend for it, but I'm going to start the stripping process.
Just as long as
stripping. Sorry, there you go.
Just as long as you don't have the same problem Midlife Crisis had. Midlife Crisis 101 on TikTok. He was the one that had arranged for this investigation.
He did what?
Well, no, I'm just explaining, because if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have been there Saturday night. So
what did he do?
He was the one that organised the event with us.
No. Motorbike or something.
Right, he had a Harley Davidson.
Yeah, no.
And he needed an internal part for it, for the engine. And he went out for a ride on it yesterday, and there was an issue with that internal part.
Oh dear.
And he was lucky he did not come off. Very lucky. It just went on him. The whole thing just shut down. And he was on a bend, when it went.
He locked his motor upside.
So he managed to slow it down and get it off the road quick before it. And if it had been going any faster, that would have killed him.
Yeah, it's a nice bike he's got as well.
So he was very lucky indeed.
Actually, I'm taking a piss. I don't mind plugging him on there at all. I don't mind anybody being plugged on there. I really don't. I don't give a shit.
I must admit though, we were saying about Josh trying doing the engine thing one-handed. That reminded me of a guy that came up to me Saturday night, and he asked me if you could do dowsing rods with one hand.
That was me. I asked you.
No, it wasn't you. It was another one. It was one of the guests.
Yeah, he had a hand like mine. He had yeah.
Well, during the break, he'd asked me if I would sign some books for him. He brought a set of the books, and I started signing them for him. And he come up to me and he says, "Can you do dowsing rods with one hand?" So I explained to him, "Of course you can. Just because it's a pair of dowsing rods."
I didn't know myself.
When you do dowsing rods, you always ask a set of questions that can give you two possible answers.
Yeah.
So you say a yes answer, open the rods, no answer, cross the rods over, or vice versa. Yeah. And he went, okay. And I said, so when you're doing it with one hand, you use one dowsing rod and just say, point to the left for yes, to the right for no.
Yeah.
And he went, Do you know what? I never thought of that. I said, well, give it a go. Get out there and see if it works.
Yeah, I'm going to.
There's no reason why it shouldn't.
Yeah, I'm going to order some because I quite enjoyed that. What were we talking about? Yes, mermaids, and basically the social elites are supposedly sending out fishermen, highly skilled fishermen, and getting other people on board. And these people who are going along think that they're like maybe poaching, catching fish that they're not supposed to, but they're catching mermaids. But the mermaids don't. They sort of look like us, but they're kind of more humanoid looking, aren't they? They're not. They don't really. They don't look like us. They're adapted for the water anyway. They're not like you see.
I heard all. Right.
Yeah, they're not like. Yeah, they're not like sirens or anything like that. Hang on, Mark needs to go to Soapland here. Men getting washed by cute girls in the nude. No. If I'm single, yeah. But no, because I'm happily engaged and my missus would have my balls for earrings. So no, naughty Harry. But yeah, and these things, apparently this guy didn't want to have a part of eating these fucking mermaids, and he went to go and leave, and as he went to go and leave, he just saw doors open a little bit, and he looked in and he said there was massive tanks all the way around this room with mermaids in these tanks, and he said, and some of these mermaids were not with it, some were, and some knew that they were good, that was it, they were fucked and they were going to be killed and eaten. And he said it was the most depressing, horrible thing he's ever seen. But the guy who ran it came up to him and said, you signed an NDA, and besides that, if you talk to anybody, who's going to fucking believe you? Mermaids, really? So whether it's real, whether it's not, I don't know. But there's a lot of horse shit out there, but there was a couple of bits of it that was like,
right.
And there is more to the sea than you think.
There's a lot of pissed off people about it. There's a lot of pissed off girls out there like, don't eat our mermaid friends. There's a lot of them videos going around.
The problem is I'm seeing an issue with all of this. Something is screaming complete fakery. My brain is sitting there going, hang on a minute. Recently, we've had, we've known, like, mermaids have always been like an urban legend or a myth for centuries. And now we've got all this business with all these celebrity parties and all this, you know, sort of A-list celebrities being involved in all these dodgy parties and things. And it's almost as if someone's gone to the effort and merged the two together just to cook up another big selling story. It's just a bit screaming a little bit too obvious to me.
I know what you mean, but I will say that there was no mention of any Hollywood elites or anything like that. There was no mention of any of them.
Well, no, but you're talking about these sort of hierarchy sort of type people. That's
allegedly what it is. But elites, I will say that because cryptozoology's my thing. There are a lot of places that are adamant, and I mean adamant, that there are mermaids, especially mermaids.
No, don't get me wrong. I didn't say that I didn't believe in mermaids. I said that there was the myth or the legend of mermaids throughout the years, throughout centuries. I'm not saying I don't believe in mermaids, but I'm just saying that obviously there's the legend of mermaids, and now all this business with all this, you know, elite parties and A-lister parties and dodgy shit going on that people are getting arrested for. And now it just seems that someone's just merged these two together to create controversy.
There is also the other thing, and it brings me nicely onto one of the things I wanted us to talk about. Yes, Josh?
What?
You waggled your finger.
Oh, no, I'm playing with a fidget spinner. It's the same.
I was going to say, it brings me nicely on.
Remember?
I know, I want one of those. Is it a thing to distract us from? Because one of the things I want to talk about was the lack of drones now. They're still being seen, but there's nobody reporting it. You have to go down the rabbit holes to see the things. There's a lot of bollocks and AI that was put out there that we said would happen. We said as soon as these things started getting seen, oh my God, we must do the AI.
I do have something to report. A couple of days ago, a ship landed that looked a lot like a spacecraft that belonged to Space Force, and apparently it was in space for like 284 days. And they asked what they're
485.
doing, and they were basically like, "Yeah," and they're like, "It's classified."
Yeah,
Sorry.
they're up there for over a year. And everybody was saying, why couldn't they have rescued the stranded astronauts on the International Space Station? And if they were up there for 485 days, why weren't they called in to rescue those astronauts?
Because they might have not had room to come back.
Yeah, then
they were up there for something.
Then they would have had to turn around and admit Space Force is real. We've known Space Force has been real since.
Well, we know Space Force is real. It's funded here. We have recruitment ads.
Yeah. In fact, I think wasn't it Reagan who first started off Space Force and started the Star Wars, because it was all to do with the Star Wars program, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, to an extent, but yeah, since Trump's last time he was president, they like openly admitted about it. Started taking.
I remember him saying he wanted boots on the moon, back on the moon. That's what he said, and boots on the moon and boots on Mars, and he let slip that there's already people up there on Mars, on the moon anyway. You know,
I honestly think we're dealing with astro mining already, and we're being hush hush about it.
I think the whole drone thing was complete and utter bollocks. The fact that the FAA came out and said, "Oh, it was ours. They were all ours. Every single one of them, all around the world, it's all ours. They were doing an exercise for us." And then 2 months later, they said, "No, they're not ours. We don't know what they are, whose they are, nothing. So why did you come out and say that?" You know.
I've been hearing the rumor of it's a new technology, the 0-point engines. That's what the drones were, and it's just still trying to figure out how to release it without bankrupting the economy.
Yeah.
It's like everybody's really freaked out in the motor world right now with the hydrogen engines.
To be fair, if they hadn't killed everybody that came out with an invention that would help the Earth, and we all know they are, so it's the Dark Matter Show. You know, we say it as it is. You know,
that wouldn't be following the way of the Sith. And that's what my country is. I basically live in the Galactic Empire, if you haven't figured it out.
Yes, we are, and we are the rebel scum.
Just like you guys keep saying that you come over to the pod. Soon enough, the pod will be over here. The way everybody, our leaders, talking.
It's yeah, you're right. You know, you're right. It's absolutely right. You got the big ones who are getting bigger and bigger and bigger and getting more and more corrupt and turning different countries against different countries and aligning with different countries. And you could fucking see what's going on. You could see, those of you who know, you could see what's going on at the moment. But I won't go into that. But
Order 66.
Yeah. And all the stuff that could have been brought out for the betterment of mankind, all those people who invented these things, and as soon as it was going to be made public, oh, they died. Oh, one of them even said they killed me. We all know they were taken out, and now it's got.
That's the hydrogen car guy.
Yeah, it's got to the point now with all social media and anything, you can't, because it's everybody be so famous. If anybody now comes out and says, "I've invented this engine, I've invented that engine," and they suddenly die just before the patents come out, we know straight away. We know exactly who to look at and where to point the finger. You know.
Because there's that guy. There's the guy recently. He's making petrol out of waste plastic.
That's been going for a while, actually. Yeah.
I can't remember where he's from, but he literally gets all that plastic that's been dumped,
that's right,
and he sticks it in some sort of vacuum chamber, and he processes it and gets petrol out of that plastic.
Because of all the chemicals.
And you're like, there you go. So there's the answer on where you need to recycle your plastic. Is you need one of these combustion things, generate your own petrol.
What about the guys that were running their diesel trucks on French fry oil?
Yeah.
And it was smelling good. Like, it was a pretty easy process to do.
And that mysteriously is dying a death because McDonald's were quite proud to say that their lorries run on the old fryer fat.
Yeah.
Don't hear them saying it anymore.
No. It used to be plastered all over the sides of it, didn't it?
Yeah. They don't say it over here. They don't say it anymore.
Yeah. But as we say, every single time something is invented for the betterment, be it a new energy source, be it a different type of engine, be it warp. Well, no, I won't go with warp drives or anything like that, because that is real and that's coming out very, very soon. So is the impulse engine. That's already out there. But the 0-point modules they've had for quite a while, and I've said, fucking bring them out. You know, so because then that would solve the energy crisis throughout the world. But then you get all the corrupt officials who are high up in all the energy giants losing out on money because of that. That's why people get taken out, and that's why they will never ever tell the truth about shit, because the almighty dollar, the almighty pound wins over corrupt officials. You know, so you know, there's the likes of us who go, do it for the betterment of man, because we quite like this planet to carry on being a planet where we can live for millions of years. But whilst they're carrying on doing this shit, all they care about is their pocket. So hopefully, and this brings us on nicely to the big ship in the sky that's headed this way and has been heading this way for a while, and is being watched and monitored by amateur astrologists, real astrologists, Cape Town, all that lot, and the big ones on top of the mountains in Hawaii. They're being watched, and they're being watched all the time. But the governments, the bobberments, are saying no, it's not this, it's not that, it's not happening. But all the amateur ones are saying, yeah, actually it is. We've got the video, and I've seen some of those videos. So is this thing on its way over here to say, you lot are corrupt as fuck, let these people be, and let them actually have a healthy planet, healthy choices, and stop being corrupt? Otherwise, we'll sort you out. Do you think that could happen?
I think it's going to be another Muamua.
Oh yeah, Muamua, the thing that fucking used our sun, and you sort of go. Whoosh.
I think it's going to be another one. I think it's a probe. I think it's just going to come buzzing past the planet, go around the sun, and then bugger off again.
I don't think this time it's a probe. What do you reckon, Josh?
I'm just reading about it right now.
Oh, what, the one that's headed here?
Yeah.
It's massive, whatever it is, and it's been tracked for, I think it was from the middle of last year or before. But yeah, that's on its way, and it's way bigger than a Muamua. Muamua was big, but this thing's miles bigger.
Well, this could be a second probe or an advanced party.
If they're here for the betterment of us, yes.
Well, if a Muamua was a probe, it probably came past and thought, what a bunch of dicks. They'll be easy to take. And this one's coming to take us over.
Nah, I think they're just, you know, like, oh, they're the humans. Roll up the windows. We'll be safe to roll them down once we exit the Milky Way. But until then, folks, keep your safety belts on and do not open the windows.
They probably sat there at home and thought, Christ, they're getting closer to going to Mars now. We better step in.
Yeah. I do think, and again, we've said it on here for how many years? It is coming. And every single thing we've ever spoken about on this show, from back when I used to live in the old house and everything that we've spoken about, it normally happens about 2 to 3 years later, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And I mean, everything we've spoken about. Like before Josh joined us, and that everything that we have spoken about has happened. And again, we haven't got special powers. We haven't got people in different departments. We just do our research. That's all we do.
And
we can't do this shit without researching.
And if I remember rightly, when a Muamua came into our solar system and then shot off back out again, I'm sure one of us said it'll be back, or something similar will be back.
We said that it's going to be something will be coming back,
and that was when we started all of this. When a Muamua came in, and we said that it was going to go off, and when something else will come back. Yeah. And then to start off with, we thought it was a Muamua coming back, but it didn't.
Yeah,
it was something else.
It's massive, this thing, whatever it is. You were saying, Josh?
Nope.
He was just looking for a rabbit caught in the headlights, doesn't he? When he's looked at his research, and then you can see you sort of go,
"Hey, Marilyn,"
standby mode, and you go, "You're right, Josh," and then you go, "Hey, Marilyn." Hey,
Marilyn.
When we reported about Muamua when I was living at the old house, we said because of the trajectory, and you know yourself, the trajectory it took. That was not something that had been pulled into orbit, because it steered into the orbit and then slingshot it. And and that's a well-known thing for ships, especially those in the know with things up in the heavens.
Well, yeah, I mean the slingshot theory is you use the object's gravity to propel the other object.
Yeah.
So as it starts going around the object that they're using for the slingshot, it speeds up to a point where it's got to its maximum velocity and then speeds away. But this didn't. It didn't speed up as it went round the sun. It sped up after it left the sun's orbit. So it stored the energy as it went round, and then off it went.
Why is on Things Network, I click our show so I can see the comments, and it's got somebody else's show on there?
I had that earlier on.
It's got someone else's show on there. We're supposed to be on that this time.
I had that earlier.
Really?
Yeah.
Show.
Who is this?
I've got it on there.
Yeah, look. Every time I click it, I get that. Are we both going out at the same time or something?
I've got us. Well, no, because Jacqueline Dixon's before us.
What the fucking hell's that then?
But I visited Jacqueline's show earlier on.
Yeah.
And I went out, and as I came out of it, it came up as somebody else's show, and I'm like, "What the hell's that?"
I click Willow's link, and it's us, and then I click R1, and it's somebody else. That's bizarre, and it's the same link, and it says it's live. Whatever this is, somebody doing tarot readings. Yeah.
No, I'm getting us. Every time I click on it, I'm getting us.
It's got my writing on there. We're back, yeah? See it?
Yeah.
And you click on it, and that ain't us. What the fuck?
You need to refresh your phone, I think.
I've done that. Turned it all off, and I put it back on again.
Yeah.
So, and now
I've just clicked on it, and it's us.
It's just doing that.
I think they're messing about with your phone. I think they're messing about with your phone, mate.
Let's have a look. Try again. Nope.
Don't know. I've got it. I've gone out and I've come back in again. And I've got on there, and I'm there straight away.
Yeah, I closed it all down and I went back on there. I'll just close it all down again. I'll go back on. Where is us? There's us. I'll just click on the link. Now it's back to us again. And now if I close it and open it again, it'll be that tarot reading. So I think two shows are interfering.
They don't normally do that, though.
Weird. Oh, anyway, unless the Bobbermans have had enough of our crap.
Hey, I still have a couple of things too. Vegas, there's a story going on that's kind of, I guess, sub-paranormal. There is a mother claiming that her son's body was donated by her ex-husband, the father, to a museum there, and he's on display. I don't know if any of you have heard anything about that.
No, what's this one about?
He was apparently murdered with cyanide, and his father donated his body to this museum, and he's on display. It's one of the only corpse museums that we have in America, in Vegas. But yeah, it's really messed up.
It's morbid as fuck. I take it there was money involved, and he got paid for it.
Yeah, something like that.
No, that's
something to do with business patents and him turning up dead. And yeah, but the museum's saying that it's not him. So there's a whole. And the mother's like, I know my son, but he doesn't have. It's just a skeleton. It's not just a skeleton. It's like the muscle. You have to look at the story. It's pretty gross. The picture does kind of look like him.
That definitely sounds like something to look at. What else was it you wanted to bring from across the pond?
That's pretty much it. I mean, I've been out of the rabbit hole working on bikes for a good couple of weeks now.
I know that. Yeah, I know what that's like. Because when I've been doing the course, I've just been completely away from everything because I've just been concentrating on getting my courses passed and getting good grades and stuff. So yeah, I know what that's completely like. Sucks. Wayne, have you got anything?
No. The only thing I can talk about is my events, and that's it at the moment.
Well, We'll do that in a minute.
I have some I'll talk to you guys about off camera, but I don't know if I'm willing to share it yet.
Okay.
But,
all right.
So,
I think the problem I've had, because I've been sorting out so many different bits and bobs here, I haven't had much time to do anything.
Okay. That's fair enough. Like I say, we've been off the last couple of weeks because of either ill or tired or whatever else. I've been doing, Josh has been away doing his college stuff. I've been doing my stuff, you know. So now we're actually finished doing our stuff for now, so we can actually start going back into it and concentrating.
I haven't.
Well, we have. You know,
I've still got loads of stuff to do.
I'm going to start.
The only time I'm going to have off is when I go away on holiday in August.
Where are we? What are we doing? With July, we're going to that 90s fest with the Venga boys and everything going to be there. So I'm fucking well up for that. So, well, you don't like 90s stuff?
The Venga bus is coming.
Do you remember Sash? Do you remember Sash?
I don't mind Sash.
Sash is there as well. In fact, I'll tell you who's going to be there because we're doing the VIP on the Saturday night. It is going to be. I know Sash is there, and this is on the night we're going to be there. Here we are. We have got one thing I'm not asked about. Blue, Claire Richards from Steps, Venga Boys, Bass Hunter, DJ Sammy, DJ Sash, Judge Jules, Hixie, Ian Van Dahl, Flip and Phil, awesome. Entrance, Rosala, Fats and Small, fucking loads of people. And that's on the night we're going. So.
Was DJ Sash the one that was really wild back in the day and like smash records and stuff on stage?
Yeah.
That's so crazy because I actually had some friends of mine party with him when he was here in America, and he almost got them arrested here in Wisconsin because he was pissing on the side of the highway, and they're all like, "Yo, we don't do that here. That's how we get DUIs."
Oh dear. Oh dear.
As Eyeball Paul in Kevin and Perry Go Large would say, these blaggers are pants.
I love 80s, 90s, noughties, and I love my dance music because I used to be a DJ. So I used to use a lot of this stuff for doing my stuff. So I'm well up for it. Rachel's up for it, and we're going to make a big week of it.
I mean, I like the trance stuff, but I'm more the 80s.
I like trance. I do like a lot of trance.
And then obviously there's me with me, Mike Oldfield and Jean-Michel Jarre. So.
And you're younger than me. Mind you, I like Jean-Michel Jarre. I do like Jean-Michel Jarre. And I like the odd bit of Mike Oldfield. Back to what we were talking about. What do we think this thing is that's coming towards us? Because we have spoken about it on here before.
Hype. That's what it always turns out to be.
What, hype?
Yeah.
Well, the thing was, originally it was supposed to be Nibiru because it was seen right on the edge of our universe, and it's been measured, whatever this thing was, and it's supposed to be massive.
Yeah. I don't know. They've been saying Nibiru's been coming since I was in high school.
Well, whatever this thing is now, apparently it's not a planet, but it is big, and whatever the thing is, it's supposed to be on its way here. So. Hi, Nigel. You're in the North Pole.
Is it on its way here, or is it on its way to somewhere further away from here, but past us?
Very possibly, it is on its way.
Could just be passing through our solar system, and they're looking at it and going, "Well, the trajectory it's on, it will pass by Earth." So they've just jumped the gun and gone, "Yeah, it's coming here."
We'll have to see.
You know what's really disappointing too is what this has already happened with the Muamua. And we have not put any practices in place to deal with it or to research it. Or at least if we have, they haven't openly told us. You think it's something, the science community would be all on top of.
Do you not find it highly suspicious about that? That when a Muamua came and everybody said, and we said it on this show as well, you had the perfect opportunity to get something out there to study it, even because they were looking at it for fucking ages, and they could have had something out there to get pictures and study it, but no one moved any satellites in that area. No one put the cameras on it. Nobody sent something out there to do it. They just went, "Oh yeah, it's look, it's gone."
It's a rock. It's just a rock. Don't look at it.
The problem is, when they launch stuff into space, and they tell us, "Oh, such and such telecommunication company is going to be launching a satellite. But what they don't have to tell you is what secret satellites they are also launching at the same time. So, back when the space shuttle program was running, they would say that, you know, the payload is in there. It's got a satellite for this. But who's to say that they didn't have another satellite in their payload as well that was for other reasons?
Oh, of course they did.
And
But
told us.
it's. I think what it is now, because of the advent of lots of things that have happened and all this shit and the drones, where pretty much 99% of the drones were black ops and they were disinformation stuff. There was only like 1% that may have been from outer space. But every time anything from outer space happens, they always put loads of things up there or out there, disinformation, horse shit on social media to make us all go, "Whoa, what the fuck?" But now I think we're starting to see the pattern with everything, and it all started with the Oumuamua, because when that came and they all went, "Oh no, it's just a rock," bollocks.
I mean, when you think about it, the amount of satellites that are up there, most of them are pointing towards Earth, not away from Earth.
I know, but look at the James Webb. Look at the other one that was out there before it. That was up there.
Yeah.
They could have looked at it. They know they could have sent a signal to turn it to look at it, and they didn't.
I think there are more satellites looking out away from Earth than they say there is.
Of course there is. How do you think they're testing the laser system?
I think they know what's out there, and I think they've got stuff up there to stop anything. Because if you look at the last couple of months, how many news reports or reports on social media there has been of an asteroid the size of New York City is coming towards us, or an asteroid a mile across is coming towards us, and it should be here within such and such a date, and it never turns up.
Yeah. Right, we never have to do Armageddon. I mean, surely
if I don't know, I'm just going to pluck any old news channel out of the air. ABC News says there is an asteroid. It's 3/4 of a mile across. It's going to hit in the middle of Spain on April the 27th. It's going to cause chaos throughout Europe.
I have seen a lot of bullshit to do with that coming out recently, and people are going.
So all of a sudden, that date comes like the old time traveler bullshit that's been going on. You know. Yeah. That date comes and goes, and everybody in Spain's looking up, waiting for this bloody asteroid.
That time traveler, I went back a few days ago, and I looked back at previous ones from like last year. Nothing happened. One thing happened, and that was it was 50-50 because it was a football match. Nothing happened. And it's like, fuck off. I'm a time traveler, and you're going to believe me. Nothing happened. Baba Yaga's predictions are way better.
I keep seeing that same guy, the chubbier guy with the beard, get busted over and over and over and over and over. But he's going to like dive bars from like the 80s and like eating and stuff. And he's like, I'm here. And then they're like, if that was the same people busted him too, and then they're there on their devices and they're like, yeah, you see how that guy's on the new iPhone? Yeah, it's because his place was built in 1980. It wasn't 1980.
I'm thinking of doing a reverse time traveler TikTok. Instead of going to the future, I'm going to go to the past. And I'm going to use AI to drop me off in different time zones throughout history. So you could have, say, I don't know, me under the Eiffel Tower as Adolf Hitler's marched into Paris. And then me standing in the Roman Colosseum watching gladiators fight.
Blonde hair and blue eyes. They just go, big smile, hello, Wayne. Yeah, hello.
But what it does is it creates likes. That's what they're doing it for. You know, if you look at all these people that say, "Oh, I'm a time traveler," I went to 2052 and this happened. You know, and then you look at how many likes they've got on them TikToks. It's unbelievable.
I will say, because we'll have to finish the Montauk chair, and
I don't want to even talk about Montauk after covering them stories.
I'll talk about it now, but do you know the guy, who reckoned he went to 22,500 and something, and he lived out there for 2 years or so? I can't remember his name, But that was quite interesting. That was quite interesting. But right,
Was it one of them I interviewed or no?
sorry.
I said, was it one of the people I interviewed or no?
No, God, no, no,
Okay.
no. You mean the nutters, the nutters, the nutters. I was in Space Force, and I fuck off, mate. Look at the amount of stuff you're smoking. You're about 2 years old. Stop it. Stop with that crap. You know. This is why I say with the Dark Mirror Show, I'd love to have all different guests on, but and we've said this loads of times. But if you come onto the show, you've got to be prepared to if any one of us, myself, Wayne, or Josh, thinks you're talking out of your ass, we will pull you through it live on air. So anybody who does come on as a guest, just be prepared for that. We say it as it is for the paranormal world, but if we think you're talking bullshit, we will say you're talking bullshit.
Yeah, so you do have to be mentally stable.
Yeah. Don't come in here and say I rode in on Pegasus, because we'll be like, well, go on, where is she? Take a photo, show us. Come on, we want to see. Come on. Come on. So yeah. Anyway, we will be back next week, guys. And I've got some homework for you too. Let's because we haven't done anything for a while because we've all been busy. Let's do some homework on some cryptozoology and some credible UFO stuff. Yeah. Josh?
How much credit am I getting?
Josh? Wayne? Yes?
Yes,
Homework.
So we'll do
Homework on the weekends? Come on now. Okay.
All right, then. I've got some homework for you then, Mark. If you're going to give me and Josh homework, I've got some homework for you. Over the next week, you've got to watch a show called Resident Alien.
I have. I've seen some of it. Resident Alien, yeah.
You've got to watch all of it.
It's different.
The guy from Firefly.
There are references in there. There are references in there that I found quite interesting.
All right. Okay. I'll see if I can persuade Rachel to watch it with me as well. But
I thought it was quite funny.
We'll have to have a look. But yeah, I think because we've done the whole there's something coming and we know there's something coming, I think we need to start talking about that and having a look. So I'm going to go down some rabbit holes this week, see what I can find. I'll send it to you guys, and same with you two. Well, I know you're really busy and you've got the kids, Wayne, so if you can't, don't worry. But I know Josh, he just turns around to his missus and kids and goes, sit, and they obey him straight away. His missus does. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I've seen him there. He's got, he literally goes, shh, and she goes, okay, master. And she does. And then Josh goes, good girl.
You should shut the hell up, Mark, before you get me in trouble.
He's going to kill you or me.
It's either going to be that, Josh, or someone's on the first plane over here.
Yeah, you bastard.
But have Rachel make up the couch.
Your wife's gonna be going. Everybody, from the moment she turns up at the airport, where's Scarborough? And then when she gets to Scarborough, she'll be like, you know a Mark Manley, where does he live?
And on that note, I would like to wish our long-suffering other halves, thank you for being our other halves. We couldn't be the people we are without you.
Right.
So we will see you guys next Monday, 9:30. And we will talk about our usual reverent nonsense, and we will talk about what's been going on in the world of the wonderful for the week. And of course, we have our beautiful assistant from across the pond who brings in the American eye. And of course, we have our Aryan brother in the middle there, Herr Wayne and Mrs. Wayne. And we will see what we can find and bring it to you next week. So as always, it's been a pleasure, and it's nice to be back. And we will see you all next Monday, 9:30. So you got anything you want to say before we go?
Cucumbers.
It was, wasn't it, Josh?
Right? Definitely was.
And on that note, see you next week, guys. I will play you out.
Later.
Bye-bye. Doobie doobie doobie.